all of that combined, has that made for a bad camp for Team USYK? There is a big reach difference in both fighters. Is there going to be question marks there for Tyson FURY with regards to his power? And there's a big gap between then and now. Twitch, where he keeps sort of rubbing his nose. Well, I saw firsthand at how well he was training in the gym. He looked very slick. And I could only see Terence Crawford winning and got it spot on. Does it mean that he's not had that valuable time?
5 more days.
Yeah.
But really, you've been waiting nearly 2 years for this fight. You've been waiting a long time for a fight with Tyson FURY.
Yeah. Tyson FURY can play boxing, mind play, yeah?
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy, absolutely. Because you every day training, you every day break your body.
This weekend, Tyson FURY takes on Oleksandr USYK for all the belts in what is the biggest fight of the year, if not the last 10 years, with a stacked undercard. But were there problems in camp for Oleksandr USYK? But before we get into it, Baz is out of action. He is currently sitting on a toilet somewhere, crapping himself. So thanks, Baz. You know, flopped it at the last hurdle. We've waited all this time for the biggest fight, and you had to go get the craps. The only good news is, it'll probably be a couple of stone lighter before you next see him on the camera. So get well soon, Baz. So you're stuck with me today, flying solo. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to record a video with my thoughts on what's been going on. Before we get into it, massive shout out to Denzel Bentley, who got the win on the weekend against Danny Dingham, looking very slick indeed. And he showed what he was doing in the gym as well. I saw firsthand at how well he was training in the gym. He looked very slick. So yeah, just wanted to give a shout out, and we'll be interested to see what's next for him. It's probably a video there for me and Baz to do at some point, but yeah, we'll chop it up then. So back to it. Tyson FURY versus Oleksandr USYK, or is it Oleksandr USYK versus Tyson FURY? As you said, were there problems in camp with Team USYK? So, as you remember, the fight was originally meant to take place early in the year, but had to be put back because of that torrid fight that Tyson FURY had with Francis Ngannou, where he was massively out of shape and got put down. Later on, he then sustained a terrible cut in sparring, pushing the fight further back to now, May. So, what does this mean? Oleksandr USYK has chopped and changed with his trainers, but some of his best work has come with Lomachenko's dad, Anatoly Lomachenko. And Lomachenko fought last weekend with George Kambosos, getting the victory. Does it mean that he's not had that valuable time with Anatoly Lomachenko? And in between that, USYK has had a child, which would affect anyone when they're preparing for a fight. Am I clutching at straws? To add to that, he's also got a lot of domestic problems going on in his home country. We won't get into politics here, but all of that combined, has that made for a bad camp for Team USYK? Put your comments in the box below. We saw when Errol Spence was fighting Crawford how having an unsettled camp can affect victory, and I was tipping Terence Crawford in that fight. I said there's too many fighters in that camp. It's not settled. It's going to have an impact. And I could only see Terence Crawford winning and got it spot on. But enough of the background noise. Let's concentrate on what we do know about the two fighters. So looking at it, you've got Tyson FURY, 6'9", 35 years of age, fighting Oleksandr USYK, who is 6'3" and coming up to 37 years of age now. There is a big reach difference in both fighters, with Tyson FURY having a staggering 85-inch reach compared to Oleksandr USYK's 78-inch reach. In terms of KOs, we've got Tyson FURY with 24 KOs, 34 wins, 1 draw against Deontay Wilder, and Oleksandr USYK has got 21 wins, only 14 KOs out of that, which is not bad. It's not bad, but he's not a concussive knockout puncher, which may play a part in this fight. I'm filming late on in fight week, so I've had a good look at the fighters, and they both look switched on. Something that I think is going to play a key factor in this fight, other than the stuff within the camp, is the mind games. The mind games from Tyson Fury started years ago, where Tyson Fury was constantly saying that Oleksandr Usyk is a rabbit, he's a middleweight, he's too small, he's not good enough. And now, stranger enough, he switched it up and he's given him lots of praise, which is part of the Tyson Fury mind games. We saw in the weigh-in when they were due to face off, Tyson Fury made a decision not to look at Oleksandr Usyk. He was looking straight up with his hands in the air, straight forward. And when Usyk was from the side, he did not want to engage, which is all part of the mind games. Tyson Fury is the king of mind games. And where he was bad-mouthing Usyk before and now praising him and then occasionally bad-mouthing him again, it's all part of the psychological power that Tyson Fury has. He attacks the mind and the body in the ring, and he tries to win the fight beforehand. It's almost like a abusive relationship where he'll give praise and then he'll tell you you're terrible and then he'll give you more praise and then he'll tell you you're terrible again. So he loves to control the mind games. Usyk and his team are also good with the mind games. In one of the conferences, he wrote something down on a paper and wouldn't share what it was. There's also little comments being said here and there where it's left Tyson Fury questioning what that means. And when they were sizing up against each other in that head-to-head, although Tyson Fury wasn't looking at Oleksandr Usyk, Usyk took control of that by going in front of him. So Tyson Fury had to see him. So he knows how to handle the mind games too. Now we have Ringgate, where Team Usyk aren't happy with the canvas. They're saying it's going to cause issues on the night and could lead to Usyk tripping up. Something I noted with the fight with Daniel Dubois and Usyk was the size of the ring then. And actually, I don't know whose decision it was to have such a small ring. And I think that played into Usyk's favor in that fight by having that small ring. Daniel Dubois wasn't able to fully box off the back foot there and use the ring and his reach. Something I'd be interested to see is what the ring size is for this fight, because I've got an idea of how Tyson Fury is going to approach the fight, and I believe it's going to be off the back foot, using that jab and locking up Team Usyk when he gets up close. But if it's a small ring, that's not going to be able to happen, and he's going to constantly be pushed back to the ropes. So what chance does Tyson Fury have of winning this fight? Well, let's look at his history. His last fight was against Francis Ngannou in October 2023, and he didn't look great in that fight at all. I think he's now come out and said privately that he didn't take Ngannou seriously. He's not made any excuses on camera, but it was clear from his shape that he did not respect Ngannou in that fight, and it showed. Prior to that, it was Chisora, where he had a good victory, an old Chisora, and that was in December 2022. So there was a gap there. And then before that, again, we had Dillian Whyte in April 2022. And then in 2021, we had Wilder in October of that year. So it's not been massively active, Tyson Fury. And you look at Oleksandr Usyk, and you can say the same for him as well. And that's another thing coming together in terms of were there issues in the camp, because Daniel Dubois was his last fight in August and 2023, and there's a big gap between then and now. And is that going to favor Tyson Fury, that inactivity there for Team Usyk, especially at the age of 37? Something that Usyk does benefit from is that great engine. He gets stronger and stronger in fights. There will be times in the fight where he'll just dip off, and then the next round he'll be going 3 times faster than he was in the round prior to that. So he has got that ability to recover quite quickly, and he's got a great engine there. So we talked about the mind games. We've talked about the reach. Tyson Fury's going to use that reach. He's going to pop off the jab to the head and the body. And I think the key thing there is the body. Frank Warren said it. Everyone else has said it. And I'm going to agree with them. Daniel Dubois showed the game plan to beat Oleksandr Usyk, and that is to target the body. Oleksandr Usyk is a southpaw. So he has his hands up like this. He hides his head very, very well. It's very difficult to get to that head. It's sort of deep within his shoulders with his hands up. And Usyk uses that long guard where he'll leave his hand out. He'll be sort of constantly moving it, blocking your vision, protecting the head that way. Normally when a fighter does that, it will leave space to get around the hand. But because of those shoulders and the head being so deep back with Usyk, it is still difficult to reach that. The only thing here with Tyson Fury is he's got that, as I said, he's got that long reach, so and that height, so he may be able to pick off the head a bit easier, but the body is left vulnerable when that's going on. So underneath the arm here is where Tyson Fury can exploit with the left hook to the body, and all of this area here, the chest and the central area. I was watching that Daniel Dubois fight again, and I still believe that was a legitimate body shot, even though it was definitely on the borderline. I believe Usyk was winded in that fight, and that's something that's going to be playing on his mind again because he knows that's a weakness. What he did was, after he got back up, he kept his left arm quite a lot tighter to his body, which made it more easier for Daniel Dubois to target the head. So although Oleksandr Usyk has a really good starting position with his guard, if he does get targeted to the body, then that will leave more space for Tyson Fury to go for their head. But he'll need to capitalize that as soon as he can if he does cause Usyk damage to the body. Looking at Tyson Fury's body shape, he looks like he's built to go to the rounds. He's not built for power, and something that he'll probably be questioning is his power, because when he went in against Wilder, he showed that he can knock him out and be devastating in that way. But when he went to try and do that against Ngannou, he didn't dent him at all. So is there going to be question marks there for Tyson Fury with regards to his power, where he had that confidence before that he can throw the 1-2 and knock someone down, but when he comes up against some fighters, that's not going to work. I think that might throw him off a little bit, and that's why they're going to concentrate more on the boxing ability, using the jab. A problem with Tyson Fury is when he is getting backed up, he'll go back to the ropes and he'll lean back, and then he'll lock up with the fighter in front of him. Normally when a fighter does that, it can leave you quite vulnerable, but because of Tyson Fury's size, he makes it work for him. So one thing you don't really want to be doing against Oleksandr Usyk is going back to the ropes. But because of Tyson Fury's size and his ability to lock up, he might be able to get away with it for a period of time. But you don't want to be doing that too much. Another possible weakness for Tyson Fury is he's got like this nervous twitch where he keeps sort of rubbing his nose. He does it constantly in fights. He'll do it sometimes with the left hand, sometimes with the right fight. It looks like I'm picking my nose, but he'll keep doing it in fights. And if I was a fighter and I was looking at that, I would be waiting for that moment to come, because as soon as he does that, throw the hook. And if Usyk's done the research, that's one area where they can exploit for when Tyson Fury does that. And there has been times when Tyson Fury has been caught straight after doing that nervous twitch. Tyson Fury has got a good chin, and you're going to be saying, what? Tyson Fury's got a terrible chin. He keeps getting knocked down, but he still keeps getting back up. He got knocked down by Wilder. He got knocked down by Ngannou, one of the biggest punchers out there, but he got back up and he recovered pretty quickly after that. A lot of fighters, when they get knocked down that heavy, won't recover, and they'll be out on their feet, and it gets finished quite soon after that. Tyson Fury is an anomaly in that way, in that he can take a big knockdown and get back up. Usyk won't be one of the biggest punchers that he's fought, so that's going to play in Tyson Fury's favor. So I think he will get knocked down in the fight at some point, but he'll get back up. I believe the fight will go the distance. Looking at the history of both fighters and Tyson Fury, the last time I believe he fought a southpaw was Otto Wallin. So I rewatched that fight, and Tyson Fury was built in a similar way to what he is now in terms of frame. He was built for speed and movement, and he did that well. He just kept popping the jab to the head, to the body, and he was boxing off the back foot. And then there was the head clash, and that cut got opened up, which I believe is on the same side that he got the cut in sparring as well. So it looks like there's a reoccurring thing there, and that could play a factor in this fight. That cut could open up again. But in that fight with Otto Wallin, he kept going and he saw it out and he won on points. And that's kind of how I feel this fight's going to go. I believe it's going to be a points victory to someone, whether that's Tyson Fury or Oleksandr Usyk. It's going to be very tricky to tell. Speaking back again on the mind games, John Fury went in early in fight week and put the nut on one of Team Usyk. I believe that was calculated. I believe he did that to try and get Tyson Fury up for this fight, to take some of the pressure away from Tyson Fury and to put it on John Fury. His dad taking one for the team there, but that's we don't want to be seeing that in the build up or in fights. The fighting needs to be done in the ring. I weren't really happy with that, if I'm honest with you. But as I said, I think that's all part of the game plans, the mind games with Team Tyson Fury. So how do I think this fight's going to go? Well, as I said, I think it's going to be a points victory. I can see how Tyson Fury can beat Usyk. There are gaps there, even though there's not a lot. And there's even more gaps with Tyson Fury, with the way he positions his hands, the things he does in fights, but he always gets the victory. He's got a great engine. He's a freak of nature. He's 6'9" and he can move like a middleweight, and he's got that long reach, and I think that reach is going to be the key factor here. Frank Warren is a bit like a general in that he sent out some of these first fighters to test the waters and see how the opposition works. So he sent out Daniel Dubois against Usyk, and that gave Team Fury the game plan to win the fight. I believe Team Fury were a lot more happy about taking the fight after watching that Daniel Dubois fight. Tyson Fury generally doesn't like fighting smaller guys, or a lot smaller guys that can move that quick. He said it before. He tries to get bigger fighters who are a bit slower, and I 100% don't think he wanted this fight, but the payday is too big, the rewards are too big, and that's why he's taking it. But also that Daniel Dubois fight would have given Tyson Fury a lot of confidence as well in regards to how to win the fight. So Frank Warren's masterclass there. But something I did note as well, look, you look at Daniel Dubois, he's got a 78-inch reach, and he had a lot of success in that fight. And Tyson Fury, with that longer reach, that stronger mental strength, I believe will just do enough to get the victory. And I see Tyson Fury going down in this fight. I can see both ways that fighters can win. There are a lot of things, as I said, Tyson Fury does wrong when he's fighting, but somehow he gets away with it. And his freakish ability to move and be that big has done him well. I think there'll be some kind of controversy there with the referee as well. I haven't seen too much of his fight, so I can't remember any specific fights, but the referee will be key in this fight. Is he going to keep breaking up the fighters? Is he going to give a points deduction if there's too much holding? How is he going to score it if a blow is a bit lower than we expect? Because we saw in that fight with Daniel Dubois and Usyk that the referee kept warning Daniel Dubois, even though it was, I thought there was a lot of legal shots there. Usyk was complaining quite early on in that fight when he felt those body shots. So for me, the referee is key in how he bosses and manages this fight. And if Tyson Fury gets knocked down, will he give him the time to walk and come back, or will he look to wave it off early? So that's going to be a question mark there. We've seen before when Tyson Fury is knocked down, those heavy knockdowns, that he has the ability to recover. There's some referees that may have waved those fights off straight away. So it'll be interesting to see how the referee deals with that if that happens. I'm looking forward to a fight. It's been tough doing this without Baz, so we hope he comes back. And a massive hello to everyone who's subscribed after that last video. I love to say that I got spot on with the punch selection, and also called Canelo to win as well. So I am on a little bit of a streak here, but don't bet on me, because anything can happen in this fight, and we just have to wait and see. So if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe.